guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Kimmy and this is my attic, and today we are continuing on my nickel journey series. This is part 4. Wow, part 4. Okay, so we are moving right along here. In today's video, I want to talk to you about DIY. Now, in my last video, we talked a lot about what's in makeup, and we did touch a little bit about making your own makeup if you want to make it like the big brands. But today, we are going to talk more about making makeup using like stuff around the house. Like, well, we'll get into it. But if you're wondering why I included this in this series, I just know from experience that there can be a temptation to go down this road. When you are in the middle of getting diagnosed and it's first happening to you and you feel like you're reacting to so much stuff, it's very annoying. These rashes, they're painful. They last a long time, and sometimes you just feel like overwhelmed and you feel like, well, you're never going to be able to use anything anyway. Maybe it's better just to DIY it. That way you always know what you're using, and the more you read about it, the better it sounds. It sounds very easy. It sounds fun. And it just seems like a really good idea for some people. I know I went down this road when I first got diagnosed. My idea was that I would just make my own makeup. No big deal. Everything would be fine, right? Well, if you saw the title of this video, the answer depends on who you are. It really does. I think if you are someone that is really into DIY because you just do not want to wear anything from the brands, because you don't want to wear anything, you know, any kind of chemical on your face, then you're going to like DIY no matter what, because you're going to make it work for you. You're going to have the drive and the patience and all of that. And I also think that people who are really into DIY, and I could be 100% wrong, probably aren't into other aspects of makeup. Now, if you're someone like me and you're kind of getting pushed into DIY because you think you'll never wear anything else, the answer is probably no, for a few reasons. Number one reason being, it's not going to satisfy you the way store-bought makeup will or can. It just can't compete. Just by the way it goes on, by the way it wears, you know, it's not even fair to compare the two. Also, you have to take into things like packaging. Like for me, packaging is such a big deal. I have purchased things based on the packaging. I have kept things based on the packaging. I know I'm not the only one, right? If you're someone that's just like into all aspects of makeup, choosing it, the packaging, it's not going to satisfy you. The choices are very limited with DIY, and you're just probably not going to be happy with it if you're someone that's really into makeup. But at the time, if you do go through a DIY phase, like I went through a DIY phase, it may seem like a really, really good idea. And maybe it is. Maybe you're someone who's going to discover DIY makeup and be like, where has this been all of my life? I enjoy doing it. I enjoy the idea of it. We're all different, right? It didn't really work out for me. I will see how this video goes, but I don't know. I have a feeling, by the way, this is going to be a long one, so we'll see what happens. But a couple of things I also just want to point out about DIY, and then we will get into what I'm going to do today is make some makeup. I have chosen some recipes online. I will link them all down below. Anywhere and all the websites where I got the recipe, I will link it down below. I will also talk about how I tweaked it, because some of these recipes I did need to change around for obvious reasons, which I will get into. But before we do that, I do just want to make a couple of comments about the kind of stuff that you find online as far as these DIY makeup recipes. First of all, don't be surprised if when you're looking online you see a lot of recipes that use mica or use iron oxides, because they are supplies that are very easy to get and considered very safe. So a lot of times, well, actually not so much iron oxides, I take that back, but mica. A lot of these recipes include things around the house plus mica powder, because it's just a mineral and it's not really looked at as something bad or dangerous. But if you're allergic to it, it takes on a whole new meaning. So even a lot of DIY recipes use mica. I eliminated that for the purpose of this video. The second thing, a lot of DIY makeup videos use old makeup. So that's another thing that you have to stay away from. And it's a really good idea, right? Because you can take makeup that you're not using anymore, or you can take an eyeshadow palette and it'll have a couple of uses. You can make a highlighter out of it, a blush. But of course, in our case, again, we're trying to avoid makeup. So we're really just focusing on like natural products for this video. So it becomes harder and harder to find recipes that just focus on that. But they're definitely out there. I'll tell you now, they're all very similar. There's only so many ways you can do this. There's only so many ways that you can make makeup. And I think that the simpler, the better. Some of them are a little bit more involved than other ones. And personally, I would stay away from it. It looks good on paper or whatever. As you're reading it, it looks good. It seems easy. And then when you start doing it, the more steps you add, the more products you add, the more, chances are for something just to go wrong. So I think the simpler you try to keep it, the better off you are. Also, you need to realize that makeup that you make at home, obviously, doesn't have preserve unless you are adding preserve. But none of these recipes call for it or emphasize it. Here's the thing on that. Powder products, obviously, you can get away with a lot, right? I mean, even our powder products that we buy from the store, I know I use them way past the expiration date because it's not an environment that bacteria is going to want to be in. But when you're starting with liquid products, it's a little different. I never keep my liquid products past the expiration date. I never keep mascaras even 3 months, even the ones I buy from the store. Well, I only buy them from the store. I never even keep them 3 months. You just have to be very, very, very aware that when you're not using preserve in makeup, you really need to pay attention to how that makeup is looking, wearing. You just need to be really aware. Now, this can get a very heated subject because people who are very into DIY will make the obvious argument, well, the preserves are worse for you, right, than anything that you're putting into makeup the natural way. Look at these chemicals, other chemicals that the brands put in makeup. And I'm not saying they're wrong. It's a personal thing. I'm just saying that for me, I'm not really comfortable with makeup with no preserve. So if you are going to do DIY makeup, it is something that you need to be aware of. Anything else that I wanted to say? Oh, yeah, one more thing. Guys, even if you don't know anything about DIY makeup, and I know you know this, but I feel the need to say it after some of the stuff that I saw online. Trust your instincts. Never, ever presume that because somebody is posting something online, they really know what they're talking about. Remember, pretty much anyone can post anything online. So if something seems totally off to you, it probably is. It's a proven fact that your instincts are usually right. So if it seems really weird, I would recommend that you don't do it. So the recipes that I have taken are kind of as old as time. I mean, I've tweaked them. You'll find them all over the internet. A lot of times you'll find them on different sites and they'll be a little bit different, but they're basically the same. Because like I said, there's only so many ways to do this. These are recipes that have been going around for a long time. Keep in mind that because we are doing this DIY, nothing that we are going to use is, I believe, I should say before I make this comment, as far as I know, nothing that we're going to use is actually approved by the FDA to use as makeup, as far as I know. Now again, you will have people who do DIY making the obvious argument, well, the stuff that they do approve is garbage, right? And again, I'm not saying that they're wrong. I just want you to know before you watch this video that, and this stuff seems harmless enough. It does, but you always have to keep in mind, a lot of it is not meant for makeup, right? It's just something to keep in the back of your head. It's just something that I felt was worth saying, okay? So with that in mind, let's do it, guys. Let's make some makeup. Okay, and we're back. So Before we get started, I just want to say, if you've been watching this series or if you've seen any of my videos before, you know that every time I film, I think I have filmed in a different spot in this attic. And the reason for that is I don't have like equipment set up. I think most people that do YouTube, whether they do it professionally or a hobby or whatever, probably have a spot where they film all the time, where they keep their equipment set up, where the lighting is best. That's probably the smart way to do it. I don't have that yet. I'm hoping to figure out like what works up here. I have like a million other projects that I do simultaneously. So I'm constantly like moving things around up here. So hopefully though, as I go with this channel, I will get, you know, a better setup. But for right now, I think trying things on, I'm hoping that this setup works. All right, so let's do it. We have, like I said, our arsenal of, I'm hoping that this comes up on camera, our, oh, there goes my brush, DIY makeup. So I'm going to set that here and we are going to try it on. I have a feeling that this is going to start off well and then it is going to go downhill from there. Okay, so first up, like I said, is going to be our primer. Now, how wrong could we go with this, right? This was just aloe and moisturizer and glycerin, right? So I imagine that this part of the program will be good. We'll start off well. By the way, the reason this is green, if you remember, is only just because my moisturizer was green. It kind of separated in the... By the way, I did put these things in the refrigerator for a little while, and it kind of separated. It feels good though, because it's cold. Alright, so obviously a primer should hold our makeup in place. You know what? I'm so stupid. Let me put you guys on hold for 1 second. Okay, so I just basically went and grabbed a headband to hold my hair back so that we can do this. Okay, so, I mean, it just feels like a moisturizer, but then again, a lot of primers feel that way, so, yeah. So far, so good. Okay, so we will let that set down. Did good with that. Okay. Next up is our foundation. Now let's see what happens here. If you remember, I did have to add some cocoa powder to this. I didn't want to. Because if you have a nickel allergy, you may not be comfortable wearing cocoa powder, obviously. But I could not get like a color without it. So this has mostly... This has mostly nutmeg, but it does have a little bit of cocoa powder in it. So this is what we're working with. And just to compare, this is like a foundation that I would normally use. This is the Fenty Beauty Easy Drop Blurring Skin Tint. And this is in, I don't even know what shade this is in. Some light shade. That might have been the shade. So, I don't know if you can see. I'm just going to try to do a shade comparison. Oh, I think it's in... Wait, let me shake it up. So we'll see how close we got. This is a pretty... I mean, it's a little bit... It's a pretty good match for me. So that's that. And then this is... Ooh, this is thick. Alright, no, it's way lighter. So this is the Fenty, which is a really good shade match for me, and this is the what I made. So I have a feeling I'm going to look a little... Oh, and it really smells like nutmeg. Like, really smells like nutmeg. I think I'm going to kind of look like a geisha a little bit, because this is going to be really light, and I don't even know if this is gonna have like any kind of like foundation consistency. No. Okay, so this and it still feels like, what the heck is in this? What did we put in this? We put in cocoa powder, we put in nutmeg. Maybe it's the nutmeg. It's something that it feels like the texture is like a scrub. It doesn't feel smooth. Alright, so let's be fair. We'll try it with a brush. Put a whole lot of it on. It feels like This feels like a face mask. It's like, it's not smooth, but that's probably my fault. So we'll go ahead with my Sigma Flat Kabuki, my favorite brush. Wow, I'm gonna have, yeah. This is a no. Okay, so the foundation, definitely. It definitely didn't work. I mean, look at that. This is nowhere near the what consistency you would need. Look what it did to my brush. What consistency you would need your foundation to be, because as you can see, it's, well, I guess it's maybe sinking into the skin, but it has like I guess it's nutmeg grinds. It's got something in it. It's not like smoothing over. So, and it's totally the wrong color. I actually look like paler, and this isn't going to give you any kind of coverage. I mean, I really don't like foundations with a whole lot of coverage, but I mean, this isn't going to give you any. So the foundation's a bust. If you're going to try a foundation, maybe I would try one of the DIY powder foundations, because I think that might be easier. This was just a lotion, and again, to be fair, we didn't use a lot of cocoa powder, and that's really what the recipe called for. But because, you know, of our nickel allergy, I didn't want to go crazy with the cocoa powder. Oh my goodness. I was going to do a wear test. I don't even know how necessary that's going to be, because I couldn't wear this at all. If this was an actual foundation, I would just take it off, tell my job I was going to be late, and start over. Do you see this? This is nutmeg. That's what that is. And it just, like, I don't know. My camera, I'm not good at focusing it yet. But it's literally like peeling off my face. Like, what do they call that? When it like peels up? There's a word for it. Pills. It's like pilling. It's pilling. That's what it's doing. So I have no foundation for the rest of this makeup, so we'll go ahead and try it. The primer, and it's like all over my hands. The primer was fine, but it's moisturizer, basically. So you don't need it. And the foundation did not work. I would really have to try that again if I was, if this was something I was going to insist on doing. And besides that, I think you'd have to use the cocoa powder. So foundation, a bust. What was the next thing we did? I'm almost afraid to dive in here now. Okay, so this we did. We're gonna try the eyebrow thing. The eyebrow filler. This was it. All right, I need a makeup wipe. I'll be right back. Okay, so, wow. It's still all over. So I'm definitely gonna just wash my face when this is all said and done. I don't even think we're gonna have a wear test. This went downhill even faster than I thought it would. So let's just see how the rest of this stuff, goes on. Okay, so we made this eyebrow filler. Now this is definitely, we're gonna ignore the color here, because the color is so far off from where I would need it to be. I think basically we mixed activated charcoal, and I think we did have to mix some cocoa powder in here too to get any kind of color. And then I think I did put some clay in it, if my memory serves me right, to try to get a little bit lighter. And then, okay, so it did harden up, because yesterday this was like really drippy, so it did harden up. So I'm going to take like a normal brush that I would use for my eye. Almost afraid. All right, this, I think this is a 100% pure brush, and let's just go ahead and see if we can use, is it even gonna come up? Yeah, well, consistency is so, all right. Oh my goodness. All right, well, I mean, it's the wrong shade, that's for sure, but if you're gonna compare it to the foundation, it's definitely better than that was. So, okay, so I have one eyebrow done. Well, not done, but I mean, I'm wearing it on this eyebrow and not on this eyebrow. So actually, this isn't terrible. This is not terrible. I mean, if you can get, like, the consistency is a little weird. If you can get your shade, though, I would say that this is not, you know, it's hard to pick up on the brush, though, because like I said, this isn't makeup. It's not really, it's not, well, it's not makeup at all. It's makeup that things that we made into makeup. So of course the consistency is different and the way it applies is different. But all in all, and it does have some clumps in it. Like, it's not smooth like you would expect makeup to be. So you would just have to, like, deal with that. Like, my makeup table, by the way, is a mess because it's still going all over the place. Like, when you open up the jar, it kind of falls out. But this isn't terrible. All right, this isn't bad. You could, if you want to try this, you can't find any kind of eyebrow filler that's working for you or that you have an allergic reaction to, you could maybe give this a try. This isn't terrible. All right, so there's that. Now what's next? Okay. Let's go ahead and try our eyeshadow. This should be super interesting. I think this was it. The consistency, if I remember when I made this, was so... All right, so that's what it looks like now. Can you see it? It's kind of like powder. Like, I want you guys to, like, see it. It doesn't look bad. It actually kind of looks like eyeshadow. But, okay. So, and again, yeah, the consistency. Okay, so the consistency, you just have to, like, put it in your, like, between your fingers, and it is mostly shea butter, so it gets, but, yeah. Oh my god. No. No, 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 no. Well, okay, here's the thing. You have to be someone of great patience and someone who really wants this to work, to really make this work, because I have a feeling you have to go back to the drawing board multiple times, and what you're gonna get is, like, all right, so this is kind of a brown eyeshadow, but it's not even, like, really adhering to my lid. Is that because I didn't use primer? I forgot to use my gel, my aloe, as primer, but we can easily do that on the other one. And also, this is, like, is this gonna dry down? Like, that's another question. It's not horrible, but it's not great either. Well, alright, so on this one we'll go ahead and use the aloe because that's what it said you could use as a primer. So that was easy, and let's see if that helps at all. I do not think it will. Okay. Yes. Ugh. It wasn't too. Okay, do you see that? Like, do you see how that's just, like, stuck on my eyelid? That's kind of what you're dealing with, because it's, like, it's basically just, like, you know what, though? Putting the aloe under it, in all fairness, did help. It does spread around more evenly, but, I mean, come on, like, need I say more? I think, like I said, you have to have great patience, because I think each one of these things, with the exception of the primer, you would really have to take your time and kind of perfect a formula for you. So that's the eyeshadow. And definitely not anything that I would wear again. I'm having a really difficult time making it look even. It doesn't look good at all. It really doesn't. Get another one of these. Oh. Yeah, I mean, I know you can't compare store-bought makeup to this makeup, but if you bought this from the store, you would return it. Let's be honest here. This is like not good. All right, so the eyeshadow was a bust. The foundation was a bust. The primer was okay, but it's just moisturizer. I'm almost afraid to try this one. This is the eyeliner. And I know this is going to be a mess. Well, actually, this kind of does like resemble eyeliner. And this is basically activated charcoal. It's not basically, it's activated charcoal and water. So, oh God, what we do. The things we do, right? Like, I can't. So I'm just gonna try to pick it up on the brush and just like brush it across my lash line, but all right. So there you go. That's not horrible. It looks like a very smudged out eyeliner, but honestly, eyeliner is something that I can't wear at all from store-bought because, oh, this like settled in my crease. Yeah, that's not pretty. Well, let's forget the eyeshadow. The eyeshadow is a bust. I cannot wear eyeliner at all unless it has carbon black because I always have an allergic reaction. Actually, that's pretty good. Kind of goes all over the place, but I think that's because it's sitting on top of shea butter. But on its own, huh, I'm really impressed with this. I am very, very impressed with this eyeliner. So far, the eyeliner and the eyebrows have been actually not bad at all. And again, ignore the fact that it's kind of running because, like I said, it's on, I'm trying to focus, see if I can come in. Okay, like it's on top of shea butter, so it is like running. But if I didn't have that on, like if I didn't have this over shea butter, I think that this would actually not be too bad. Yeah, I'm actually happy with the eyeliner. And actually the eyeliner was what I was like most afraid to try, but I think that's the best thing we've used so far. So with that said, let's move it right along. Maybe things are starting to turn around. We'll go ahead and we'll try our bronzer. So this is, if I remember correctly, primarily what, cinnamon? Oh. Okay, so if you are someone, keep something in mind, guys, because I know a lot of people do not like fragrances in makeup. If you are someone that doesn't like fragrance in makeup, go easy on the essential oils. I followed the directions and this overwhelmingly smells like lavender. Like, I could be smelling lavender all day, and I'm gonna have to use a smaller brush because, okay. Oh my God. This is gonna be a mess, I'm telling you. Right away, I can tell. This, and what the heck? Oh, it did it. It separated a little. In the pan, it separated a little. Okay, let's see. Jeez. All right, now. Bronzer is a bust. A real no. Well, wait a second. If you're gonna do DIY makeup and you're gonna get ready, you have to get ready somewhere where you have to give yourself extra time because you are going to have to seriously clean up afterwards and be ready for it to go all over. This smells like too much lavender. And it doesn't blend in. It might not blend in because that stupid, that foundation we're wearing. It's like everything's pilling on it. So nothing's... I looked like I just escaped. Like, I would never leave the house like this. Alright, no. No. The bronzer is a no. The bronzer is a no. Yesterday when I made this makeup, oh my goodness, I'm telling you, I had to clean top to bottom, and it's pretty much going to be the same thing today, because even the day after, I'm opening up these jars and this makeup is everywhere. This is the blush. Let's just get this over with at this point. Here we go. It's extremely pale blush because I could not get any color to work, and I don't even think I have a brush. We'll just use this one. Oh, come on. Yeah. All right. Another thing you want to keep in mind if you want to do this, don't use these little jars. Use like big jars so that you can like tap your brush and it won't go everywhere. Okay. Okay. No. Like no. Okay, no. Blush is it's basically just powder, and no. It's not sinking into the skin. It's got no color to it. It doesn't, you're better off just wearing nothing. Like, my opinion, you're better off just wearing nothing. And like I said, if you really have patience for this stuff, maybe it does make a difference because you will be more inclined to really work on it. But honestly, this is nothing that I would do again. Okay, the last thing is the lipstick, and I'm kind of afraid to even open this jar and see what we'll find because I don't know if it... Sorry, this stuff is going everywhere. Okay, so yesterday we did this lipstick. We melted, what was it, shea butter, beeswax, olive oil, and then we added some hibiscus powder and we put it in the fridge. And let's see what came out. I'm having a hard time opening it because, all right, no? Okay, I think I'm going to have to, oh, no. All right, well, it did harden. It did harden. And there is nothing on my finger. Absolutely nothing. You know, yesterday when I made this lipstick, I remember thinking to myself, this is gonna be way too dark for me because the color was like so, oh my god, I look like, this is so, all right, well, I had a point to prove. I think I proved it. And yeah, the eyeliner, like I said, the eyeliner is already running all over the place, but I think, like I said, that's because it's over eyeshadow. That's basically shea butter. And this has no color whatsoever. None. And this was dark when we made it. So this whole thing is a bust. And what I was going to do is I had it in my head that it was going to work at some level. And I would do a wear test today. So I would wear this for the day. I don't have any plans. It's actually a Sunday here. And I was just going to clean up a little bit. And I would wear this. And then later on, I would come back and I would let you guys know how it wore. But there's no reason to do this. Because, there's only thing that we could possibly do a wear test on is the eyebrows and the eyeliner. And that's it. That's all that worked here. And that's all that, you know. So I'm going to assume that the eyeliner actually might be a good idea because only it wasn't hard to make, and if that's all you're making, then you know it's not going to take up that much time. Maybe you're not comfortable wearing carbon black. A lot of people aren't. And this is just activated charcoal and I think DI water. And it looks pretty, this one doesn't, because this one I think got so mixed up with the shea butter that it just went all over the place. But this one's not bad. Yeah. So the eyeliner might be something to consider. And also the eyebrows. They didn't come out bad either. They're the wrong shade, I know, but just based on the formula. Everything else, the bronzer, the blush. Oh, we almost forgot our highlighter. But our highlighter is not made. Our highlighter is just lip balm, because that's what I read is the best thing to use if you can't use mica. And what's kind of funny about this, so this is Vaseline cocoa butter. Next video, I'm going to show you makeup that doesn't have iron oxides in it. That's store-bought, but doesn't have iron oxides in it. And the highlighters are kind of all like this consistency, this like Vaseline consistency. So I think there is something to this. But you're definitely not going to get like that, you know, real highlighted look. I don't know what's making my skin already turn red here. I don't know. You're not going to get like that really, like, you know, you could see it from space highlight. But it's pretty. I think that's definitely a possibility. That's something that like makes sense. Like you could use lip balm if you don't want to use iron oxides or mica or anything like that. I had a small sponge. I don't know what I did with it. Oh, it's over here. Yeah, so I can see it. So that's actually not a bad idea. That's kind of pretty. But again, that's not really DIY. That's just like a FYI. You can use lip balm as a highlighter. All right, so in closing, I think that this was a bit of a bust. I am not surprised that it didn't work. What I am surprised at is I think the eyeliner is really nice, and I think the eyebrows are really nice. I didn't think I was gonna like anything, but I think those two things are actually very pretty. Everything else, no. The foundation, where did we go wrong? Anywhere. We could have gone wrong anywhere. It has the wrong consistency, and I think that's because you really have to use the cocoa powder, not the nutmeg. But if you have a nickel allergy, it's really up to you if you want to try to do that with the cocoa powder. The bronzer, I don't know. The blush, I don't know. I think part of it could have been that hibiscus powder. It didn't seem like the right color, but even the consistency was very off. Not impressed with the blush, not impressed with the bronzer. The foundation, like I said, I think that was the worst. And the eyeshadow. The problem with shea butter, like, I can't see. Sorry, my screen almost came flying at me. I can't see where, like, how shea butter, now that I'm thinking out loud and now that I have it on my face, would be able to carry, like, eyeshadow. Like, how would that work? It doesn't. It doesn't look good. And it doesn't, I don't know. I can't wait to wash my face. So we're not going to do a wear test. This is how it went. So if you are someone that's thinking about DIY makeup, hopefully you got something out of this. Like I said, it's definitely not for everyone. I think I mainly found out that it is not for me. The lip balm does look really nice as a highlighter. The rest of my face is a mess. I'm telling you, I look like I just escaped from, I don't even know, from somewhere. Yeah. Oh my god. The eyebrows aren't too bad, but they're just too dark. And like, the foundation did it all. Do you see this? I'm just rubbing it. Do you see it like rubbing right off? It's like peeling right off. Yeah. No. Okay. So, in my next video, I'm going to talk about makeup that is already like brand makeup from the drugstore, high-end makeup, whatever the case may be, that has no iron oxides in it. Store-bought makeup, that's the word I was looking for. Store-bought makeup that has no iron oxides in it. So no DIY involved, and we're gonna do a full face of it. So if you're interested, I hope you will join me then. I want to thank you so much for watching. Leave me a comment if you like DIY, or if you don't, whatever. Leave me a comment and let me know what you use, how you make it, if there's anything that I could try that is nickel friendly, meaning no cocoa powder. I think that's where we went wrong in a lot of these recipes. Yeah, just let me know what you guys think of DIY products, because I'm really curious to know. So again, I want to thank you so much for joining me, and I hope I will see you next time. If you thought this video was helpful or entertaining, I hope you will give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, because I plan on talking about it all in the attic. And until next time, I love you guys. Bye bye.